I'm glad you're back to learn more about Moses and especially today to learn about Pharaoh, who was a very difficult man to deal with. And once you hear this story, I think you'll really understand just how stubborn he was. Today's story is called The Plagues. God gave Moses a big job. Moses had to stand up to a very stubborn king who was making God's people work as slaves. God told Moses to go to the Pharaoh and say, "Let my people go." But Pharaoh said, "No, I will not let God's people go." You see, Pharaoh wanted the people to worship him, not God. So God used 10 ways called plagues to change Pharaoh's mind. God turned the Nile to blood. The river began to stink. Pharaoh watched the river turn red, knew his people could not drink, and Pharaoh still said, "No." God sent frogs to hop everywhere, even into the beds. Pharaoh heard his bakers scream when frogs jumped out of their breads. And Pharaoh still said, "No." God thought gnats might change Pharaoh's mind so the people could go free. So gnats swarmed the people, the goats, the cows. There was no place to flee. And Pharaoh still said, "No." Flies, thought God, will do the trick. So God sent a zillion. Pharaoh's house filled up with flies. Outside there were 1,000,000. And Pharaoh still said no. Well, God now struck down Pharaoh's herds. The camels all were ill. The donkeys, horses all got sick. The cows fell down. But still, Pharaoh still said no. Ooey, gooey, icky, sores on everybody's skin. God knocked and knocked on Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh never let God in, and Pharaoh still said no. Hail pounded, thunder crashed, Pharaoh's plants laid down. Not a tree stood anywhere. All were on the ground. And Pharaoh still said no. "Let my people go," said God, "or I will send a swarm of locusts to devour what's left, to do your land more harm." And Pharaoh still said no. Now darkness covered Pharaoh's land. The sun did not appear. No one could move. No one could see. Still Pharaoh would not hear. And Pharaoh still said no. The last and saddest plague of all brought sobs throughout the lands. Parents cried as their children died. Finally, Pharaoh changed his plans. Pharaoh let God's people go.